Hey everyone, once again, it is BDevine. Thank you so much for being here today. And just the other day, we did a moon message. Okay, so for the full moon in Cancer, and we got the message of sacred revolution. And it was the message about the goddess Kali, and that she wasn't going to stop until there was some kind of sacred energy happening. Revolution, changes, etc. Now already today is Thursday, I believe, yep. And already yesterday, I think it was, that all of the mandates in the UK have finished completely. And before that even happened, the Supreme Court in the United States overruled Mr. B's his ruling or his mandate. Okay, and now we're going to see one country after another start to drop it. Why? Because there's a lot of crap going on. There's a lot of people who've been working tirelessly behind the scenes without saying anything, and have been working about this and how things have changed, you know, how the leaders have been doing things and how they've been stripping people of their rights, etc. How they've been taking away freedoms, you name it, and seeing children being V'd, unbelievable. Actually, some people that I've known for a super long time put their grandchildren up on whatever you want to call it, Facebook today, showing how proudly they were that their young children had the V. And it's just unbelievable how people will just quickly fall into this pattern. So it's closing. So now what are they going to do? So everything's like, no, we can't keep on restricting the people, because what is going to happen? So today I just kind of felt like I woke up this morning and I took pictures of it, that the outside was just like frozen, like the trees outside where the snow had fallen lightly had just frozen itself solid, you know. So I woke up this morning and like everything was just clear, like a blanket of beautiful, fresh, you know, new starts, right? And I wanted to kind of talk about this because I'm just so excited about this new beginning that's happening. Everybody's starting to feel differently this year. Even people who are normally quite negative in nature, I've noticed, are actually just saying, oh, well, I'm being positive. Oh, I'm looking on the bright side. Oh, I'm being, you know, and I'm just like, huh? This is a person that always, you know, has something to say. So I feel like the shift has happened with everybody. I have actually had to pull my window shut, and you can still see light on my face. I've pulled my window shut. You couldn't see me. I was washed out. See, as I come closer to the camera, it's just like I was washed out. This is how much light is spreading to us right now. So again, I wanted to have a look at the Crystal Mandala, because what happens, it shows us where we are on our spiritual journey. And also just continue to re-emphasize some different things for you all. One is that, or the biggest thing that I'm trying to bring forth for you all, is that you need to embrace this empowerment, that energy that you have right now. I'm sure that you're going to say, yes, I've been feeling it. Or you're anticipating something to come forward, or something is about to, you feel something's about to change in your life, you know? So there's this energy of pushing forward right now. You must follow through with your empowerment, okay? 2, try to avoid anyone or anything that's negative. As I said to you, here's my friends that I have known for a super long time, posting pictures of their grandchildren. Oh, I just got my V, you know? And I'm just like, kids don't need to have this. Like, what in the hell is going on? And I want to say, what are you doing? You know, like I want to say, can you tell me why you're doing this? What are the benefits for this? What do you think's going to happen, because a young child's immune system is perfect, perfectly set up, unless you're already immune compromised. And if that's the case, then you know exactly what to do, right? You've always been able to know what to do in that situation. But, seeing these things, I want to say something, I can't. I see people complain. It's their normal go-to, complaining about their life. They are posting fearful messages. They are posting whatever the news says, actually, and putting it on their wall now that they've been V'd. I noticed this was not happening before to people who just before there was any V's, we weren't putting up an update of how many cases or hotspots or whatever was going on. Now they are. And what they have to remember is, and what I've shown you all, is that since the V's have come out, the numbers have gone up, okay? And it's evident. You can go to worldometers.info and it's all updated by the second, okay? By the second, you can actually see the numbers going around. So it will show you the increase since the V's came forward. So it's obviously not working, but instead of it stopping, they keep on pushing it. However, UK is like, nah, we're out. Right? That's huge, because my friends in the UK are saying to me, oh, nah, everybody's just complying. It's probably like 85% of people, they're just all doing what they've got to do. A couple of friends of mine are like, I'm holding strong, I'm not taking it, kind of thing. And now this. So this is the thing. What happens now? So let's say that there are no mandates. No one has to wear masks. No one's going to be locked down. No one has to have it in order to work. Okay? What about the people that have had to do that? What about the people that were crying their eyes out like, I don't want to have this. I don't want to take this. I don't want this in my body, and I've got no choice. What about those people? Will there be compensation for the people? I feel that will come. And that will come when more and more and more of this is exposed. And you watch the people that are leaving it now. They're leaving it for a reason, right? I don't want to put too much up here on YouTube, but they're getting out really quick. Why? Because there's information about to surface, and some already has. And they don't want to be involved in it. They don't want Kazakhstan happening to them, where they're just taking over. They don't want that, because you will find more out. So they're quickly trying to just, quieten it all down. It seems very, very odd to me, but I knew that this was happening. I told you beginning, light has already won. The light has already won. And we've been patiently waiting for things to come forward, right? For freedom to start to reign, for information to start to happen. One thing is that you're going to have to, like I said, empower yourself and continue talking. Treat yourself well. Look after yourself, okay? Drinking plenty of water, having juices, going a lot of green, alkaline kind of energy in your body, okay? People are going to do whatever they want to do, but my feeling is I want natural energy. I want a natural vibration going through me. I want my cells repairing themselves all the time. So, smoothies for me, I'm going to have that. I'm not going to eat breakfast with toast and eggs or anything like that. It's the first thing that goes into my body is a huge, juice of some kind, mixed up, right? I don't do one of those ones where you pull all the pulp out. I need all that fiber and I want to eat it. So, right? And then, big salads and things like that. Plenty of greens. If you take yourself away from, just say, for example, you take yourself away from just eating like you normally eat, right? So you might eat hot fries. You might have hamburgers from wherever. You might just get takeaway, buy your chicken and all that sort of stuff, right? Whatever you're doing. That's what everybody, that's what I used to do. Buy the chicken, get some hot chips, as we call it in Australia, or fries, say here, have a salad with it or something and have it with the kids or whatever, right? When you pull yourself away from it, you say, okay, I'm just going to try 10 days. 10 days where I don't have anything that's processed, I don't have anything from takeaway. I don't have any soda, soft drink. I don't have any, you can have coffee, but you don't have any dairy. You just use almond milk or something like that. And you try your best not to have any meat, just use, substitutes like, veggie burgers and things like that that you can make yourself, that you're not processing, right? And try to get it organic. Then, okay, so you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm just going to do this for 10 days. Big deal. No big deal, right? Go for walks, stay in nature, all that sort of stuff. Then go back to what you were eating before. I guarantee you'll have stomach problems, or you'll have a headache, or you'll feel sluggish. You'll feel like crap. And doing the both, I've done both. This is why I'm like, I know when, years and years ago when I was eating meat and all of that, I was always like, something's off. I always had stomach problems. I was always going and having laparoscopies, and they were trying to explore what was going on with me, etc. And my choice was to stop all of that. Now, even before, when I was eating I was eating raw food, but I wasn't eating organic raw food. It was taking a long time to digest. So I always felt like I was bloated anyway, right? But just doing everything with taking out the chemicals, no processed food, as little, Coke or Pepsi or whatever you have as possible. Maybe limit yourself to a tiny little amount. Whatever it is, try for 10 days, okay? And clean yourself out. While you're in that 10-day process, the reason I'm suggesting this is because you will download a lot faster. You will get a lot of information really quickly. You will see things begin to change all around you. Every time I'm trying to make an important point for all you guys, it's like I need to, it's not burping, it's like I need to hiccup, and I'm trying to stop myself. It's just the energy coming in, right? So that happens to me. But every time you take yourself away from what you've always done before, now this is just with anything and everything. Maybe you change your room around. Maybe you do a really good clean of your house. Maybe you move some things around your bedroom. Maybe you're donating a whole lot of stuff to charity. Maybe you've changed the way, whatever comes through the door. Maybe you're just deciding you're going to smile every day and be nice. Whenever we make these changes, stuff happens. Shifts occur. Beginnings happen, okay? The other day, when that full moon occurred, I couldn't wait. I'm like, there is something here that's going to be so big, everyone will finally be able to see it. So that you can have a feeling about something for a long time. But, I've got to try to move forward. You've got to allow other people to actually see this vision themselves as well, okay? And this is what's happening. Boom, one thing after another, one thing after another. So, watch. I'm hoping Australia also now suddenly they give up their fight because they are in the Commonwealth, maybe Canada as well. Maybe it's all going to change in that way. Or maybe it has. I think maybe Canada did change. I'm not sure. I don't want to quote that exactly. So, just one moment. Okay. All right. All right. So, hang on a minute. Okay. All right, I'm just going to get out of that. Right, I thought something had happened just really quickly. I got this message. Okay, so we are jumping again. This is the feeling that I'm getting, is that we're jumping another timeline. You may notice it's quiet for you in your area. When we go to the store here, in our area, it's a nightmare at many of the places, right? We have to really arm ourselves, to go out, because people around here have in this area that we are, they have a kind of a desperate kind of a negative kind of a feeling. Not everybody, but a lot. And we have to arm ourselves up to the teeth. When we go to the store, a couple of days ago. We're just doing our normal protection like you would anyway. And there was hardly anything around. Like there was hardly, like we went straight to where we needed to go in the store, and there was no trouble, there was no drama and in and out kind of thing. And then the next place we went to, it was like in and out. And I'm like, there's something that's already shifted, you know, something that's moved into this new vibration, right? And you may also notice this as well. So I am going to do a message today from the Crystal Mandala. I feel like there's a whole lot to say, and I'm sure that it's going to come forward. Like I'm just feeling like I'm on the edge of something coming out, but I'm not sure exactly what, except for the fact that something has definitely shifted. If you asked for to move into this new dimension, if you asked for things to change for you, if you asked for new light to shine on a situation, if you asked for growth and all of these things, you're getting it. Okay, it's coming in, it's happening, and you're going to see this occur for you over and over and over again. So you need to stay into that positive vibration. Okay. Yeah, so the other day we had Sacred Revolution with Kali and Black Obsidian. Today, I'm going to leave that cut out because I don't want it to come out again just because I've been talking about it. So today, let's have a look. What are we going to get today? We are finally going to get freedoms and information that we haven't had for a long time. Okay, so it's going to get downloaded to you first. When you're receiving downloads, sometimes you're going to feel really tired, but you shouldn't be feeling pain energy. Okay, if you're feeling discomfort at all, it's usually not a part of your download process. It's something that's either coming to the surface, you're getting rid of, or you're picking up on somebody else's crap. Okay, whether they're sending you crap or whatever it is. So you really need to be, there's so many people that say, oh, well, I'm an empath, so I just feel everything, and you know, it's really hard for me. I live like this. I've got ADHD as well, and I've got OCD, and you know, as a spiritual being, it's extremely hard for me. And it's like, why are you letting that happen to you? You know, why are you just acknowledging all of these things, you know, as something that's poor you? You know, you need to be careful of people that do that, because if they haven't, you know, healed and worked this out with themselves, they're not going to be able to with you. And sometimes it's kind of like they're just looking for attention. Okay, just be careful, because we're all empathic, but we don't want to absorb other people's stuff, and we obviously don't want to, absorb the world's crap either. So we must maintain our shielding. You know, you don't have to live that way. You know, and poor you. It's just ridiculous. So you know, please look at this and tell yourself, you know, this is debilitating me. Why am I letting it? You know, and just be careful of that kind of vibration. It does happen a lot, and it happens a lot with the people who are just kind of starting out, and they hear the word empath and they're like, oh, I'm one of those, and they hear the word starseed and they're one of those as well. They're all of it, right? And we need to remember that this is an ancient practice, what we're doing here. This energy vibration that's coming forth on this planet is ancient. It's not new, okay? It's ancient, and it was stopped before. They stopped it, okay? Think Atlantis, think Lemuria. They stopped that energy before from escaping. We're not going to let it happen again, okay? And this is why all of you have been also finding your Lemurians now, right? We've been working with our Lemurians, whoa, and these harness the information. We're also working with our Labradorites, which bring the transformation. See the flash on that one? Just a little one. We're working with our Numites, which are 3 billion years old. This is Mukai Jasper, connecting with the Australian energy, and I have it here as well. The reason why I'm having Mukai is because it's extremely grounding and it's ancient as well. There's this, when I had the sea thing, when I had that, just at the, well, when was it? October 2021, that worst one that I had. I wore my Mukai, and within the 5-6 days, I was starting to feel really good, like turning on the doing it all naturally. Did the whole thing naturally. The only thing I had in my mouth was those Halls soother things, and I just could breathe in that way, and it was soothing my throat, kind of thing. But yeah, I wore the Mukai, and it was like when I took it off, I noticed a difference. I put it back on and I started feeling better. So the Mukai, it's very, very healing. And I've just been making a whole lot of stuff as well. So you'll start seeing some different pendants that I'm going to be putting on, but I kind of like this one. And remember, I can make you these things. If you want a Mukai Jasper pendant, let me know. If you want, I don't know, I've got a whole lot of stuff. If you want those things, I can make them for you. Okay. All right, let's do the card. I'm excited. That's why it seems like I might be going from here to there, but I'm excited. What do we need to know? What do we need to hear? Oh, okay. Oh, this is kind of interesting because 2 cards kind of pulled themselves over. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna shuffle them again because I just feel like we need. Well, we could have done 2, but we'd be here a long time. All right, if it comes out again, I know. Okay. What does everybody need to hear right now? Relief and repair. Okay, now the same one didn't come out, but the same color came out. All right, so Ascended Master Matache and Crimson Cuprite. Look at this. Relief and repair. That look awesome? Okay, this is an Ascended Master card. So let's go for it. Number 36, which is a 9, completion. Ooh. Ascended Master Matache and Crimson Cuprite. Cuprite? Okay, relief and repair. Just a minute. Oh my God. Sometimes everything's trying to stop me. Oh, all right. Here we go. We bring you the blessing of relief and repair. Our warmth and nurturing will restore and rebalance your body, mind, and soul. When the light of spirit burns too brightly. Spiritual light is like the light of the sun. It brings life and joy, but too much can burn. If that happens to you, you will feel overwhelmed, overheated, overexcited, or overstretched, mentally, physically, or emotionally. We will help you recover and increase your ability to be exposed to spiritual light again in the future without becoming overloaded or burnt out. We ask you to soften and relax into our rich red energy now, which nurtures you with the cooling, restorative life force of the Earth Mother. We shall help you naturally discharge excess energy while we revive, strengthen, and fortify you with our nourishing grace. On the path of light, there are many highs, beautiful visions, stunning inspirations, and transcendent experiences of bliss, love, and peace. It can feel amazing, yet, like the uplifting and inspiring light of the sun, it is possible to have more of a good thing than you can handle at any one time. Overexposure to the spiritual light feels great for a moment and then terrible afterwards. The body and mind can feel burnt out, overloaded, and confused. The great high followed by a dreadful low. You may feel emotionally unstable and even overwhelmed by so many inspirations, but with no real plan as to how you can bring them to life with methodical, practical steps. The spiritual light can help you live your divine destiny, but for it to shine bright and show you the way rather than burn you, you need to learn how to balance your love for the light with devotion and care for your body. The calling in of spiritual assistance is a key aspect to spiritual growth, okay? The energy of your spirit, your guides and angels is very real and is the equivalent of turning on more lights in your soul home. Whilst more light can make it easier to see what you're looking for, it's often right in front of you. If you have too much light going on, especially over a long period of time, you may unwittingly cause the circuits to ignite and burn down the house. You don't want this to happen because it doesn't feel good and it doesn't help you on your path. You need enough light to see and grow by, but not so much that it becomes more important to you than the need to care for and respect your body, right? There are times when the body just needs softness and time to simply be and express itself in spontaneous, carefree way. It needs to be like a little child, happy and allowed to play and feel good. It needs to switch off from thinking about spiritual matters and doing healing work now and then. You need discipline to continue to grow on the spiritual path and to heal yourself. And if you balance that discipline with a self-loving, self-caring attitude, it won't be so difficult to keep it up. The Oracle of Relief and Repair comes with a message about your spiritual growth. You may or may not be aware of it, but you are learning to call more spiritual light into your body, your mind, and your life. Perhaps you've been praying to the universe more, asking for help. Perhaps you've been meditating more often or reading spiritual books and opening your mind to new levels of consciousness. Or perhaps your soul has just been growing, even if you don't quite know why it is happening or recognize it consciously. This is all good. However, your body needs time to adjust to the increase in light. If you just keep going without taking a short break, it would be like continuing to eat and eat and eat without taking time to digest and eliminate between meals. Although you may be eating very good quality meals in time, it won't matter. It will just become too much. So this is guiding you. Take a short rest and repair now so you don't become unwell or overloaded and need to take a much needed break later on. You are being given healing and you need it. When you have a strong spirit that has conditioned your body and mind to simply keep up, it can be easy to forget that although your spirit is an unlimited being, your body and mind exist within a reality held together with the parameters of time and space. This means that although your spirit doesn't need sleep or recovery time, your body and mind certainly do. If you are not in the habit of asking yourself if you need a rest and responding when you realize that you do, or if you don't often notice your own cues for needing rest, and therefore you end up sick or exhausted, okay, then this oracle comes to you with compassionate grace. It is an express message from the Universal Mother asking you to melt into her warmth and restoration. She's offering you a chance to be repaired by her healing power. It is highly suggested you give yourself the opportunity to receive it by doing the healing process and then resting for a time. So it also indicates that any situation that may appear to be never ending is not so, and any brokenness of heart or will, defeat or apparent failure can and will be resolved and restored through the hand of her radiant grace. She will bestow her blessing of relief and repair upon you and your life situation. Allow her grace to resolve your life circumstances as she sees fit, so you can be revived by her rich, warm life force. When the Divine Mother turns her attention to a matter, there is no such thing as a lost cause or inevitable defeat. Her ways are many and her resources are great. When she decides to animate something that may have otherwise seemed devoid of life, her power is that of the phoenix rising again after all has seemed lost. Allow her to serve your body, mind, and spirit in the way that best serves you now. Surrender into her tender, loving care. And there's the beautiful energy of the crimson cuprites crystal as well. So we're going to integrate this energy into our being of relief and repair. Okay, you may be feeling it right now. You may have some lower back pain, stomach aches, some headaches, some strange pressures and things. You just may be doing too much. You may not be listening to your body. And when you don't listen to your body and take a rest when you're told to, you will get put on your butt. Okay, I know this firsthand. If I am not listening when I need to rest, and I call it, instead of saying, oh, I'm sick, I always say, oh, I need to rest. Okay, see people saying, I'm sick, I'm in pain, I'm this, I'm that, all the time. Those words will not help you to get any better. Seriously, right? So I just need to rest. Oh, okay, I'm feeling that. I need to go and lie down. You know what I'm saying? Like just noticing these things. So we're going to integrate this in, calling upon the crystal angel of crimson cuprite and ascended master Matage, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing, blessing of relief and repair. I take delight in the divine restoration without limitation. I thank you for the healing grace of life and vitality you bring to my body, mind, and spirit now. May the tender, reviving love of your embrace be felt by all beings in need. Through divine compassion, unconditional love, and my own free will. I choose of my own free will, through this and any lifetime, and through all layers of my entire being, to unconditionally receive the healing gift of relief and repair from the Divine Mother. Through divine grace and unconditional love, so be it. May divine love bring the Divine Mother's gift of relief and repair to all beings who can benefit from her unconditional love. So repair as well with what's been happening, relief from all of the pressures that we've been under. Here it comes, okay? I want you to be clear on that, and I want you to continually say it to yourself. The light has already won. All this is nonsense, and I am free, okay? Remember that as you say it, you become it. And as we all begin to say it together, everything changes, and look what's happening. If you don't think you've had a part in that, well, I hate to tell you, but you have. You've had a part in changing all of this, okay? So may all beings be happy and free, according to divine compassion and in service to the great divine plan of love unfolding, so be it. I receive the blessings of the Universal Mother unconditionally. I am blessed with her warming grace of relief and repair. I'm just going to read that first part for you guys again. We bring you the blessing of, I'm just going to try to hold this like this. We bring you the blessing of relief and repair. Our warmth and nurturing will restore and rebalance your body, mind, and soul. When the light of spirit burns too brightly, Okay, that's the other part of it as well. Spiritual light is like the light of the sun. It brings life and joy, but too much can burn. If that happens to you, you will feel overwhelmed, overheated, overexcited, or overstretched mentally, physically, and emotionally. We'll help you recover and increase your ability to be exposed to spiritual light again in the future without becoming overloaded or burnt out. We ask you to soften and relax into our rich red energy now, which nurtures you with the cooling, restorative life force of the Earth Mother. We shall help you naturally discharge excess energy whilst we revive, strengthen, and fortify you with our nourishing grace. Beautiful. So relief and repair is here. And let me tell you something about your own healing journey as well. Many years ago, when I was 13, many years ago, but to me it just feels like yesterday at times, I started to understand, well, I didn't start to understand at that point, but I started to have effects of healing. In other words, when I had healing flowing through me in order to give, okay, when I had that Kundalini, I guess, awakening, when I had the real calling to begin to heal, it was when I first moved over to the United States when I was 13, and I moved over to Pennsylvania. So some people that are in the chat want me to move to the East Coast. There's a reason why I will not move to the East Coast, okay? One of them is the fact that I did not get a very good energy from the East Coast the whole 3 years that I lived between New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia. I was up and down through Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, all of that area to me, and further up into Connecticut as well. So when I moved over from Australia to the United States when I was a teen, I was going from a hot summer in the December of 1988, a hot summer then, into freezing cold Pennsylvania Christmas time kind of energy. And then I moved into school just after Christmas time. The thing that happened to me was that I did not understand that heat, this intensity of heat in my body, was actually a healing sensation. So in other words, when healing was starting to gather momentum in my body, it generates itself as extreme heat. I end up having redness in my hands and all that. At the moment, I don't have the healing activated right now. Possibly as we're talking, I'll be able to show you. But if you see, yeah, that gets like bright red. So my body heats up. But when I was young, I took that to mean that I was embarrassed about something, right? Because I was just heating up. That had not happened to me before. I'd lived my whole life in Australia, and, all kinds of things had happened to me before, but I didn't notice this intensity of heat. So I told myself, well, it's just because at this time of the year in Australia, you're actually in summer. So maybe your body's just trying to stay warm. I was just telling myself all this stuff. And I didn't know that the redness or the heat was visible to others. Okay, so it became embarrassing because the people that were in my classroom with me pointed it out. And the reason that they pointed it out was because I was asked to go up to in front of the class, which I didn't care about at the time, and finish a maths problem on the board, on the the whiteboard, right? And I went up there and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what the answer is. I wasn't even listening. Like, I have no clue. So I'm looking at the board with my back to everybody. And when I turned around, apparently I was all red. Like I was all, whatever, because I just was. I could feel this heat burning inside of me. And I'm like, oh my God, But I didn't think that anybody else could notice it until someone decided to tell me that they could notice it. So I wouldn't have even had a problem with anxiety in my life when I was younger if nobody told me, that my face was red or whatever. And then I started to panic about my face being red and people are going to notice it. And it generated the worst anxiety and agoraphobia. And it just continued to happen until I understood what the heat was all about. And then I didn't really care if I turned bright red anyway. So if I'm with someone, even in the shop, even today, even if I'm just walking through trying to get my groceries, and I'll stop and wait for an old person to go past, or they might be in a wheelchair or whatever, I can feel this thing happen. And I just, as soon as I feel the trigger, like it starts to heat up in my body, as soon as that happens, I just acknowledge this old man or this old lady needs healing. Thank you, angels, for sending healing to them. And it goes away. But I could be just meeting someone for the first time and I will feel this heat, and it's not embarrassment or anything, because I'm very, very confident in myself. It's that they need healing. And so I've asked and I've said, can you please tone it down a little bit, so that I don't have to always have that activated within me. And that also works as well. So this feeling or intensity of heat is something that you also might get as a way of your activations occurring. You might get cold. Some people get this cold sensation. For me, it was always warmth. If I have to do some work on my husband or something and I touch his back, it's warm. My hands are just like warm, right? That's just how I am. And you may be different. But it's like the sensation of, at the same time, understanding when you also need to pull back and give yourself some time as well. And right now, everybody's like in this, I don't know, I'm in this excited energy. Okay, my husband and I are just like, oh my God, it's all happening. It's all happening. It's all just like crumbling. Okay. At the same time, there are other things that are happening around the globe as well. And, water stuff and events and things. And this actually, oh my gosh. So this morning I was doing my posting this morning, social media. And there was some people, okay, so when I've just sort of worked this out with TikTok, I didn't even want to go on to TikTok, to tell you the truth. Never had an inkling in my brain about TikTok, other than it was just for kids, as my son said. That's for 12-year-olds, he said. Now we've got him on it. But I was there this morning, and there's a lot of Christians, okay? Fantastic. Whatever floats your boat. For some reason, it comes up in my, in my feed as I'm looking at horses and I'm looking at animals and I'm looking at spiritual stuff. Sometimes, every now and then, we'll get this Christian talk, they call it, right? They are so full of fear. It's not even funny. This one lady said she's a prophet, and I wanted to just keep on scrolling, but I'm like, okay, I'm just interested to see how the Christians, and this is just in this area, okay? Not everybody's the same, and I'm not dissing the whole lot, okay? Many people have a wonderful, there's one person in particular that's been following me for years and years and years. Excuse me, perhaps I'm not going to mention her name, but she's been following me for years and years and years and years and years, and she's right within the church, okay? But, she knows where my heart lies, okay? But anyway, there was this one this morning, and she said she was a prophet, okay, okay. And she started to go on, and she started to get louder, and she started to get louder and louder and louder and louder, and saying that God was talking through her, to her, warning you to anoint your children, anoint yourself, so that the angels know that you're a believer, okay? And there's going to be more and more and more and more destruction on the planet. And, God is coming, and it's just going to be one thing after another. And so that you're saved, so that you're saved, that you anoint your children and your family and stuff, and also that those people that don't believe, God's not going to help them. So I can't believe that if you were not a spiritual person or a religious person, but you cried out and said, God, please help me. I'm just opened up to, I'm suffering right now. Whatever it is that the person's going through, I really don't think God's going to say, no, you don't believe in me, so sorry. And this is what the lady was saying, and it was horrendous. Even the people that were following her were saying, why are you being so negative? God's loving. Why are you saying this? I don't believe you anymore, and all this kind of rubbish. But that's what they're saying. And I, look, if there's a rapture, if the angels are coming, if God is going to do something here, we are all his children, okay? So I just don't think that, unless you're an absolute Satanist and you're completely against God or whatever, I still think you would have a choice, the same as you do when you pass and you transition. And to, like I am always saying to you guys, you are all equal, okay? There is not one of you that is more powerful than anybody else. And you may tap into your abilities in a different way than somebody else. And so do I. I tap into my abilities in my own way. I tap into my knowledge in my own way. And I have what I have, okay? But you have what you have. So there isn't any hierarchy, or shouldn't be any hierarchy. People put that there, with regards to angels being in levels, the seraphim and the this and the that and the that. That's us that have done that. They don't have that. As I've said to you before, everything is sound, vibration, and color with regards to how the angels sort of see us and stuff. And they are celestial beings of light. There are plenty of celestial beings of light. The ones that I know and relate to, I call angels. Are they angels? I don't know. That's how I see them. That's what I call them. So that's what they become. You get what I mean? So, and it's all about unconditional love, the same thing that animals have. Unconditional love. They don't have, you can get a grumpy dog or whatever, but it's usually because it's been mistreated somewhere along the line. Okay? So to push an agenda of fear, doesn't matter who it is that's doing it. It doesn't matter if it's, oh, I'm an empath and join me in my misery, or, oh, I'm a Christian and we're going to hell if we don't do this, or, oh, I'm a Catholic and I'm going to just, sacrifice babies or whatever, and then I'm going to ask for forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? It's like nuttiness. You have to find your own connection here. There is a connection that's happening that is absolutely vital right now, and that's making sure that you're connected into the center of the earth and in the universe. This is your pillar, okay? So this is your pillar. So imagine that your chakras are lined right up in the center of you, which basically they are. I don't want to get into that too much. And going all the way up above you into the center of the universe and all the way down into the center of the earth. This is a channel. Imagine a channel or a column of pure light like this. In this column of pure light, you are protected. Your angels, guides, loved ones, ancestors, all of that are in this space with you, right? You are connected and you are grounded at the same time. And at the same time, you're putting around your shield of light, triple shield of protection. Now, in this space of receiving, if you get yourself into it, you are not going to be able to sit there and be negative, because it doesn't exist in a true pillar of light. Yes, there are things that are negative. Yes, there are things that we're dealing with that are stressful and a pain in the ass and all of that stuff, right? There's all of these things that are happening. There are people that are the same, right? Annoying or whatever. But when you're in your pillar of light, which is what I encourage you guys to do all the time. And go back over all my videos and you'll see. Once you're there, nothing can leave you that is spiteful or angry or whatever. Okay, if you're not in that shield of light and you haven't connected yourself and you haven't grounded yourself, you can easily start getting yourself all worked up. When I saw this energy this morning of all of the changes that have occurred, and I do think that Canada also changed all of a sudden, like this is like all of a sudden, lightning fast, right? We knew the revolution was coming and it was sacred. It has to occur. And the energy of Kali wouldn't stop until it occurred. And here it is. Now, these things are positive. I don't know what you want to call it. Connections, I guess. Okay. We are uplifting each other in strength. Okay. Anyone that you go and listen to, if you don't feel uplifted in strength, you need to run away. Even when I was channeling a long time ago and I asked about our soul purpose, with Archangel Michael, he said that anyone who tells you that you are weak and they are strong, you must leave, right? If anyone tells you they are above you, get away from it. And that means just saying, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that and I can, kind of thing, right? And this is what used to happen to me a lot of the time in my spiritual journey myself. Before I became online like this and before you guys got to know me, I was going through my spiritual journey and I'd do courses and I would go group into these groups and, we'd all hang out and, do all of our stuff. And it was always the same. The message that always came through was, you're wrong and you need to fix it in some way. And then you might be able to get almost a little way up the ladder kind of thing, but you're never going to catch me, like the person that was doing it, right? The person that's running it. They'd always be like, I'm up here and you're always going to be down there. And I did not like that one bit. I didn't feel like it was correct. And this is why I've made it a point, okay, that I will teach you everything that you need to know, but it's up to you how you want to do that. It's up to you how you're going to integrate that into your life. It's up to you how you tune into your abilities. Here's what I do. Now go do something that feels right for you, right? With the Spiritual, Light Leaders Academy, it was because I was sick of people saying, I'm a light worker. I'm a light worker. I'm a light worker. Well, do you want to just work the rest of your life for somebody else? Do you want to just, continue to spread the light somewhere and whatever? No, it has to be more than that. You're a leader, okay? We are all leaders. And the leadership empowerment is very, very strong here. I've just got this thing where I've got to empower you to remember who you are. Like this whole big push that I've been doing, this whole new year, it's just been like, right, that's it. No more beating around the bush. No more trying to be really like understanding and not. No, you guys need to do this work. Why? Because that's who you are. You're not weaker. It's all within you, right? So all of this knowledge that I'm going to teach you is something that will go, oh my God, I already knew this, right? You will freak out when you start doing this training. And also you'll be interested in it because it will make sense to you on a soul level. Now that's what I'm doing. What I'm doing for this world, obviously what I've been doing so far for the last 30 years is helping people to help themselves. And it's been hard because there's a lot of people and I'm the sort of person that, okay, let me help. Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just come if, you're suffering or whatever's going on. Okay. Now I'm in this position where I'm like, enough of that, because there's too many people that need help, and there's too many people out there that are giving bad advice. Okay. And like I was talking to you before, saying, oh, we're empaths and we've got OCD and we are paranoid schizophrenics and come join us. You know, we don't want that. We don't want that. We're sick of that. We're sick of it, you know? And people with their wishy-washy stuff and all this, it's all got to stop. So if it's got to stop, it can't just be one person, you know, trying to do that. I've got to show you these things to awaken the spirit, the divine within you, to awaken the ancient being of light. And, you know, God, you guys have been everything. You know, you've been the teacher, you've been the student, you've been the leader of something, you've been a tribal leader perhaps. You know, if you've been born into this life with a sense of responsibility, I'm telling you, it's because you had a very, very, very strong and powerful leadership position in your past life, and something went wrong, or you felt responsible for all of your people, or you led them straight into an ambush and never forgave yourself, or you felt like if you couldn't fix something, it was all your fault, especially if you've been a healer before. You may not have been able to fix something, you know, because someone's time was up, or it's up to them what their journey is. So if that's the case, you may be born in with this burning desire to help everybody, but also that you're terrified of what that will mean. The responsibility on your shoulders is great. You may have felt responsible as a child, like helping your brothers and sisters or family members or whatever, or feeling sorry for old people or little ones, you know, that you're the caretaker. Why? Because you've done this in past lives over and 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 over again, right? And it's happened and it's happened and it's happened. And what you've come into this life to do is to recognize these patterns and change them. That's it. We've got to recognize our patterns and change them. And, you know, you're in this position right now where you're able to do so. There are people that'll be like, oh no, you know, well, I know everything, but I've got nobody coming to me, you know? People will be there like, oh no, well, I got taught that this was the way to do it, and blah 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 blah. I'm not teaching you anything you don't know in these sessions. You'll think you don't know it until it starts to sit in your being, right? If people are too ignorant that you know, they think they know everything, then they're gonna have a lot to learn. Okay, I'm always telling you as well that we never stop learning. Anyone that tells you that they know everything is heading for a fall, a big one. Okay, we're all learning. Even with me teaching you this stuff, I'm going to be learning as I teach, because there's going to be situations that come up that are individual to all of you that are in the classroom, you know, and all of you that are learning in your own levels, and all of you that have needs on your own levels and stuff. And I will be adapting as I go, but I'm so used to that now that it will seem like it's easy for me, right? It will seem easy for me because I won't let myself overthink anything or panic about anything or get worried about anything. I will just go with the flow. And once you know how to do all of this, this is what you're going to want in your life. So I'm just talking about this past life stuff, right? So I am going to find, and I think they are on my other desk, I'm going to find the past life cards. And I want you to think about number 1 or number 2. We're going to clear some stuff right now, okay? So think about number 1 or number 2. As I find these cards. Okay. All right, here I am. All right, so these are handy for you to have, especially if you're working with other people. It's good to just have a little look. Obviously, I'm going to be teaching my method of divine healing, quantum healing therapy, okay? But we can get some information from this. So as much as Doreen Virtue's gone and done her thing, Dr. Brian Weiss is a really, it's a good author and obviously a good doctor as well. And he's got some very interesting books too, to read about past life energy. But number one or number two, now close your eyes and say, what number is going to help me clear a past life right now? I'm going to go for number two for myself. Okay, and we'll see what comes up. All right. Okay, so just one moment, everyone. Okay, now number one. And what we're going to do is, sometimes I do this in your personal readings that you have with me, which are still available, by the way. And what we do is we say, as I listen to this message today, I am going to release that which is no longer needed, that which is negative in nature, and disconnect myself from all ties to that time that are negative. Anything positive, I'm asking for this to be enhanced in my life, okay? All right, ready? Number one. Wait a second. I just dropped a whole lot of cards here. All right. Number one, we're releasing something here from a past life. What is it going to be? Ooh. Or we're bringing it in. Okay, so you got two cards. I'll do this for both of you. First one is wisdom for number one, trust and faith. Okay, so these are two things that are being highlighted to you right now as a past life vibration that's coming forward into your life. All right, so I'm going to read to you the little message. Maybe for number one, you are connected to your angels and unicorns as well. Maybe you didn't know, maybe you're into mythical creatures of all kinds. But let's have a look here. Wisdom comes through at you, number one. So this card indicates that you have tremendous wisdom and knowledge from prior lifetimes that seek to resurface now. Hello, what we were just talking about. Even if you've never thought of yourself as particularly wise, then this card indicates that you learned important lessons and information that will serve you and others if it's reawakened now, okay? This card can indicate that it's time for you to return to school or seek additional education of some sort. Light Leaders Academy, perhaps. This may even be a sign that you're changing your career path. Your re-emerging knowledge is guiding you toward, work that is more meaningful, okay? This is what we all kind of want to be in right now, this meaningful energy, right? It asks you to believe in yourself and know that you have what it takes to tackle a career related to your true interests and passions. You are getting rid of any doubt, any worries about this, about being in the public eye perhaps, or, you know, being recognized by some kind of ancient wizard or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of inner fears that we have that we don't know that are there, okay? The wisdom energy also, unicorns in themselves are connected with your third eye energy as well. So remember this too. Whatever it is that you've been focusing on is the pathway forward. What you've been thinking you might want to do or whatever, because you've done it before, just like I said. The next one is trust and faith. This is for number one. All right, I'll get to number two. This was just a spur of the moment thing. So the question that you're asking today is connected to the levels of trust and faith that you have. These two qualities affect the amount of fulfillment, peace, and joy you experience. If you find that you don't trust yourself, others, or even life itself, the reason may be rooted in prior lifetimes. This may also indicate a past lifetime where you were betrayed by a specific person who's in your current life right now. This is also true with respect to the amount of faith you have in the universe or God. Okay. So this has to do with wisdom, because this was the surrounding card. And betrayed by, or so what you think, betrayed by your beliefs. So this is a card to have faith and trust that your prayers are being heard and are being answered. While it's true that you learn from your past, it's also important to live in the moment without clouding it with past pain. And if your faith and trust issues are directed at certain individuals, listen to these feelings as they may be red flag warnings to heed. Make sure you're listening to it. Whoa, you can forgive someone for past lifetimes and also follow your inner guidance to avoid him or her. It is a warning you to hang on. You can forgive someone for past lifetimes and also follow your inner guidance to avoid him or her if it is warning you to distrust the person. Okay. Remember that when there's karmic energy going on, you don't have to live in misery. All right. Like if you feel negative, drained, if you feel like someone's betraying you or you can't trust them or they make you feel angry, anxious or stressed, get the hell away from them. I don't know why people sit there and go, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just feeling. No, you're feeling an anxiety reaction to someone from your past lives. So trust and faith is here. This is about you understanding that those things are real and that those things you can rely on. But doubts, worries, and concerns about a situation that you're in, okay, you need to heed those warnings as well. So we're letting go of anything that you don't need from the past life and bringing forth what you do need, okay? What was vital to you back then, you know, what you were working towards. So this is awesome as we do this. Just one moment. Okay, so my phone is going, my husband's giving me a message here, so I had to answer that right now. Okay, number 2. There's some other things happening, okay? All right, number 2, this is the card that I chose as well. So what are we letting go of from this past life, or what are we enhancing in our life as well? Okay. Number 2. What's the past life message for number 2? Oops, what's the past life message for number 2? Knighthood. Talk about responsibility. And what's the past life message for number 2? Oops. The past life message for number 2. Health, healing. Look at that. So knighthood and health. Okay. These were the ones that I chose as well. And it's not the first time this knighthood thing has come out for me. So perhaps there's something else going on here. So let's take a look. Knighthood is the first one. HIJK. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Here we go. Once a knight, always a knight. You receive this card as validation of your inner knighthood. Whether you're a man or a woman in this life, you have the heart and mind of a knight. Most likely you're long had a fascination with tales and images of knights, or you just may want to encourage everybody, come on, come on, come on, that's me, right? Okay. You may collect knight figurines or decorate with knight-related artwork and even dress up as a knight during costume parties. So in relationships and careers, you're drawn to defend those who are weak or vulnerable. Hello. I am the underdog queen, as we know. You may choose a profession that puts you into a guardian or protector role. It's essential that you only work for organizations that you fully believe in, okay? As a knight, you're loyal to those who earn your respect, otherwise you won't be happy. So the energy of responsibility, the energy of empowering people, the energy of moving forward fearlessly in the face of any kind of adversity and being strong in that. Yeah, you could say that now I know where it comes from for myself. This may also be for you. And if you notice, it actually has a freaking unicorn on it. I love it. Okay, unicorn on it. The second one for number 2 was health. Now, you also with the knighthood one, you may be so busy helping everybody else that you find it hard to help yourself. You may be so busy, I've got to fix this, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to go there, I've got to go there, I've got to go there, that you exhaust yourself as well. And this just comes from this, serving kind of an energy, right? Serving the good and maybe, trying to do the good, right? And afraid that people are going to not keep going when when you keep doing something and other people aren't doing it and you're like, oh, am I the only one doing this now? It's that kind of vibration that you get, that you don't want to be alone in your mission either. Now the health card has come up, so hang on. Oh, why is it so hard to find it? Okay. All right, relationship to health. Okay, all right, so my son Corey's heading off and his friends are coming, and we need to know when they're coming so we can get the dogs out. So this is what's going on. All right, health. Your relationship to health and healing is influenced by other lifetimes. You may be suffering from a physical problem that was inflicted upon you during your last life. Perhaps you reincarnated so quickly that you didn't have time to deal with the underlying issues. Your physical health has caused you hardship, yet it has also taught you a deeper level of compassion that you could not have learned in a healthy body. You're also developing healing skills that can benefit others. In fact, you may already, know that you're a healer, okay? We were talking about. This knowledge was acquired in previous lifetimes when you performed healings for others, okay? So it's ancient, it's within you already. Back then, your earthly needs were taken care of by the community so that you may struggle with the idea of charging money for healing work in this life. It's helpful to know that in this current Western society, everyone must charge for their work. It's really for their time, not for your work. You must charge for your time. I hate that myself. I've always let people go. I've always been, I'll just make it half price. I'll just make it less. I'll just do this. I'll just do that. I'll just make it less than everybody else. Just make it available. And you know what? If people are really respecting you and your work, they will pay what they need to pay. And you need to have a understanding of your own worth here. So whilst it's nice, like I was always doing, okay, here, just do this and I'll do this, right? Whilst that's really, really nice and kind, it actually builds up a sense of frustration inside of you, because you may not be able to make ends meet, and then you feel like, well, my spiritual path is not the right thing then, and you give up. Like, I could have given up 1,000 times, a dozen times, with this work, because I just couldn't do what other people were doing, all right, in the way that they're doing it. And the amounts, So, for example, it's like $600 for one session of quantum healing, hypnosis therapy, if you worked with most people. So I decided to charge $200 less than that and give you 3 sessions, over the phone, etc. So that you would understand the process better, so that you would have more fun with it, so that you would be able to relax by the time we got to the second time around. You're like an old hat with the whole thing. Okay. So I couldn't do that. The pressures that it would put on people, and myself, to get it correct as well. Right. Even though I didn't have to worry about that, it's still, if someone's only coming one time to see you, it's a pressure or an expectation that you've got to get it correct, right? So I used to see all that and I'd be like, how can they do that? How can they do that? And it's just the way that other people do things. You've got to measure your time, and you've got to understand your worth as well. And if you don't see your worth, nobody else will, right? If you don't respect yourself, nobody else will either. If you don't set up boundaries, everyone just keep right on coming in and treating you like crap and using you and laughing about it and then leave, right? People take advantage of people's kindness. And maybe this has also thrown you off of going into a healing profession. And you have to stop. We all have to stop that, because until there is no system, I mean, I've bartered with people before already in the past. They do this for me and I do that for them, whatever. But until that's always the case, we all have to be sure that we're paying our bills, that we're moving forward, And what better way than to show God or spirit working through your life than for you to be prosperous? Now, healing, we've got this energy here. You need to remember that in the past, it's interesting because the knight goes into battle and gets wounded and all that sort of stuff happens, and then you have the healing energy vibration with it, right? So in all of these, in all of our lifetimes, in all of the things that we've all been through, there's been a connection with some kind of sacrifice for this. Okay, you got to give this up and then you can have this. If you're a healer, you may lose people, but then you can have this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that energy vibration feels like it's coming back here with the way that things were happening with mandates and all that sort of stuff in Australia, especially. Oh, if you want to do this, then you've got to have this and this and this, and signing in here and here and here, and then you've got to have more and more and more. And wow, also children, which never had a problem before, but also your children have to have this, and this now, and it's sterilizing kids, it's causing people to have heart attacks, etc., etc. And that's what happened in the UK. Was there was a baby or something, or a toddler had her next day dead. So I think that it's just, experimental energy that everyone's been working with over this last year, especially. And, people are having reactions and some aren't right now, but it's a long-term thing. What's it going to do in the long-term kind of situation as well? With other things, they were tried and tested for a long time. So not that I'm going to take anything like that anyway, since I was a baby, right? I didn't even get the rubella one that everybody got in Australia, so I got out of that. Somehow I didn't get that one. So, tetanus or anything like that, it's just like, well, I just always trust that I'm going to be fine, But it's like this energy of, here, here's the carrot, okay? In order to have the carrot, you've got to, the bar keeps moving forward and forward and forward, so you never really get to the carrot, kind of thing. You just end up getting stressed, you end up getting worrisome, you end up getting feeling bad, you end up having problems, or one thing after another. So in those two illustrations, you see how quickly we did that? That past life energy here is, number one, you had trust and faith and wisdom. This is what you've done before. You've trusted, you've had faith in things, you've believed in the angels, you've worked with mythical creatures, you've done all kinds of teaching, guiding, and sharing with other people. You may be, in some sense, you may be looking at it in this life and thinking to yourself, yeah, but I have so many questions, or I don't want to be, like I said to you before, recognized. If you've been burned to death in a past life, which I certainly have, and it continually reminds me in this life of terrible burns that I've had on my body, and I'm always burning myself. I'm healing from one here. It's like what if you've been burnt to death, or you've been killed, or someone has betrayed you and said, oh, he's a warlock, this guy over here, and you didn't do anything and everybody just believed it. There may be an inner fear inside of you of, I don't want to do anything that's going to draw attention to me. It just may be this inner fear, because what if someone betrays me and turns on me and I'm killed for it? And if you've had a problem in the past of being a white witch, or a herbalist, or an alchemist, or maybe you did divination or something in a past life, sometimes you can have things go on with your throat in this life, right? And that is exactly what's happened to me. Even though I had injuries to my throat when I was young, and the 5 years that I spent with my oldest two sons' dad, it was always he was always throttling me, like strangling me. So I thought that that's what it was, but I think it was even deeper than that. These lifetimes of being cut off, these lifetimes of having everything shut down, these lifetimes of being killed, betrayed. Another lifetime that I remember of my own in a past life, I'll just quickly tell you, I had helped somebody get well. I'd given them some kind of ointment, or, to cut a long story short, I'd healed this energy, or they had, the angels had healed the person, but I had given them the stuff that helped them. Okay. And it was all done. And I remember this, it was all done very, very quietly. So I feel like it was done for a king energy. So someone that was of importance. So you didn't do this stuff, right? And the person got better. And now the person that brought this person to me to help with the situation got in trouble at some point or another and decided to blame me for that. Okay. And then to talk to the king and say that there was this witch, and she was, horrible, and she caused people to, be in pain, or whatever it was. And I hadn't done anything. And putting me into the middle of a square or a circle. I guess it's the square, like the center of the town kind of thing. And on the, on the part, sort of like, it wasn't exactly like burnt at the stake that you would see with all this stuff built up around it. It was just basically I'm standing on the ground, and then they just set me on fire. So it took a really long time to burn. And I saw this person in the crowd. So the crowd comes to watch when you die. And I saw that person, and they had an opportunity to say, no, I've made it up or whatever, but they would rather have seen me get in trouble than them, so they just let me do it. And I saw them just like hiding their face away, and I know who that person is, by the way. And I've met this person in this life as well, the person that betrayed me, and the person that I didn't even do anything, completely innocent. The only thing I did was help heal. And this person just hid their face like that and turned away, right? And there was a fear inside of me for the longest time. And, that burning sensation that I told you about, like having burnt to death, because of the things that people pointed their finger at me, and because they, judged me and all that. It was horrendous to also have that in this life with Christian parents. And, my mum, so-called, was a Christian as well, but horrendous things she allowed to happen to her daughter. So that all changed, her energy of going to church and all that all changed when I was about 5. But being pointed at and scoffed at and made fun of, people think that you're strange when you say, like, for example, people that I know are very well educated, that I've grown up with in my life, and people, that I've known throughout my lifetime as an adult as well, have been really educated as well. And when they say, well, what do you do, Becky? And you're like, I don't really want to tell you, like, I don't want you to, like, and I would always try to think of a way in which I could tell this person, that I help people around the globe, and, I make videos for them, and they're able to heal, to change, to grow, to shift, to expand. And, I'm walking my soul path, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I have so much to share with people. Like, I would love to say all that, but I used to just say, oh, well, I've written a book on spiritual things, and I run a website. That's all I said. Like, I know how to do the website and all that sort of stuff. That was it. So, and even that would get like a funny look, or, or whatever. And it used to really, really upset me. I had a person in my life before that, oh my God. So this was family of my ex-husband, and went around, and the father had been to Africa. And I'm just going to tell you this story so quickly. He went to Africa, and he picked up a bug when he was there. I don't know what it was, but it was in his stomach. Okay. Which meant that he was losing weight. It was some kind of digestive thing, but it was an actual parasite. Okay. That whatever it was called, I don't even know what it's called. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to help. And so he's very, very extremely Christian. Okay. This guy. And I was just like, I'm just going to try to help somehow. Right. And so he said to me, okay, I am willing to be open to receiving some healing. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to be working with Jesus and the angels for your healing. So all you need to do is give permission for this to occur, okay, and be accepting of the healing to go where it's needed, okay, and know that we're working with Jesus and we're working with the angels, and I will just be there to sort of, hold the vibration, right, and basically try to help. Well, long story short, he asked me to speak through the healings, because normally I would just, do my thing, and it would be quiet, and they'd have their eyes closed or whatever. But he asked me to just talk about what I was doing and all this. So I did, and I said, gave him messages and things, and just said, hey, this has happened because you needed to rest, and you needed to do this, you need to do that, all that stuff, and pulled it out. Okay, so the angels and Jesus are just like, he's ready, out it goes. It went away. Okay, this same thing also happened to my dad, but we did it distantly. But this was my ex-father-in-law, and it went away. And you would not believe the ranting that I got from this guy. He rang me up, and he's like, what did you do to me? I don't have any pain anymore. I don't have anything going on in my stomach. What did you do to me? You've done some kind of spell on me. You've done some kind of witchcraft. And I was just crying. Like, I just couldn't. I was trying to stay really strong, but I was so attacked, obviously past life stuff or whatever, just so attacked. I'm like, how can someone, your problem's gone, right? You asked for it to leave, but now all of a sudden I've done you were right there with me, and now all of a sudden I've done some kind of witchcraft magic thing on you. When Jesus said it needs to be an agreement between two people for healing to occur. An agreement was made, and he had the healing. It never came back again, right? But he was absolutely furious with me. And it was just like, I've got to get out of here. I don't want to speak to that person ever again. And I don't, and I never did actually speak to them again. I'm like, I've got to remove myself. This is someone, who expects nothing to happen. And when it does, it's a bad thing, and that's also something that you can be aware of on your journey, is that things will happen and people will start to become afraid of what they don't know, really afraid of it. I've done readings for people before, and it's been so accurate and it's been so beautiful and so loving. They're moved to tears and they tell me about it. And then the next thing you know, I never hear from them again, and they've completely removed themselves from everything because they freaked out. Not because there was something wrong with it, but because they felt afraid of what was going on because of the accuracy, or because of the healing that came through, or because of the changes that occurred. People get afraid of those things too. And, you learn to deal with that as you grow. But when this first happened, I was so hurt, and it really had nothing to do with me. And I realized now it had a lot to do with the past betrayals and, you kind of like finger pointing sort of thing that happened in the past. And, this also has happened with my own dad from distant healing, and he never had the problem again. Same thing, stomach problem. We fixed it, and he was just like angry with me. And of course, it was my dad, so it was a little different. He would talk to me again later, right? But he was just like very, very upset. And I'm like, well, why do you doubt that, source, God's love is there for you? Why do you doubt there is healing for you? Why do you doubt this? When it happens, you're going to think it's a bad thing. Hello, hallelujah, praise God. You're healed. And no, it's something weird, because how could Becky do this? And it's not me. That's what I would always be trying to explain. I hold a very high expectation of healing, and I visualize healing occurring, and I know how to pull things away with my inner mind, right? And the angels do all the work, though. Whoever it is that works with you does all the work, and your intention for it to happen makes it happen. But then you can't, if you start freaking out that it's happened, you start pulling it back to you, throughout your life. So it's kind of interesting how this has occurred. And also like the knighthood energy of, wanting to be there for people, wanting to stick up for people, wanting to, I'll do it. Let me jump into the fire kind of thing. Like, I will throw myself into all kinds of dangerous situations so that somebody else doesn't have to do that. And I just thought that was just me, but it seems like there's a deeper explanation for a lot of this stuff, right? That we notice throughout our life. There's a deeper explanation for everything that you do, all the choices that you make in your life as well. So you've got to understand the energy, the vibration of change, the shifting that we have when we actually uncover some of these memories and some of these situations. There are millions and millions of us that would have had the same kind of life of, betrayal, of hurt, of upset when you're trying to do something good. And so when you're trying to do something good in this life, there'll be everything that tries to block you from doing it in case it ends up being like it was, So that's interesting as well, that can take place for us also. As we move forward into 2022, one thing after the other is going to occur. I know that, okay? I know that we are going to be having relief, okay, recovery, relief as we move forward. Things are going to shift. People are going to be able to do what they want to do again, okay? Money's going to start to flow. The commerce is going to start to get better, all right? And, people are going to really have a deeper appreciation of things because of this situation, right? A deeper appreciation of who they are, what they've been through, where they've what they've been through, what they've dealt with in their life, etc., and seeing it from a different viewpoint as well. Now, the past life thing. Okay. All right, we've done that now. I thought I was finished, but I am being drawn to one more thing. One more thing. Okay. The Domino Angels. Okay, just wait a minute. I'll get it out of my little baggie. Actually, again, trying to get my Domino Angel cards here. I have a feeling they'll come. Okay. So I'm also working on my dragon energies. I'm working on my Angels of Love deck and my own another deck as well. Like an oracle deck, I guess you could say. Now that I've got the templates to do them and I can self-publish. Okay. I am going to do that. All right. All right, everybody. Domino Angels, final round here. What do we need to know? The Archangels of Beginnings. Number 10 or number 1, right? Archangels of Beginnings are with you, and you're about to move to a new place. Whether it's a new office, environment, or home, it means big changes that are well overdue, these big changes. It is natural to feel nervous about this, but it will be the start of a new life. Many will find that they've been having strange dreams, waking up puzzled, and this is past life connections. Oh my God. And you're moving away from it now. You're moving away from things from before. Okay. So you may not even have, like I'm telling you these things, and it's hard to grasp these memories because I've done so much work on clearing them. As you lift your vibration and change, okay, the structures change within you as well. You start to notice, oh my God, it's hard for me to remember that, or it's hard to focus on that, or it's hard to lower my vibration. The Archangels of the Beginning bring to us brand new, fresh start. And that is the beginning of this recording today. Brand new start, where we had this beautiful energy change occur, right? And we had this beautiful vibration of snow and just this pure energy that was happening. So even if you're in an area where there isn't any snow, there is something that occurred today, and you would feel it as well. So we thank the Archangels of Beginnings. You can always light silver candles when you want something to begin as well. It's like a new moon candle, working with silver, okay? And the colors are silver and also like a light blue color as well that you may feel drawn to right now, or crystals of those colors as well. So you're about to move. New house, new office, new location, new environment, or you're moving your energy into something completely brand new, okay? Trust in the process. Know that you are loved more than you can imagine, absolutely unconditionally. And things are going to start to get very exciting here in the next few weeks and months, okay, as we move more into this revolution energy as well. All right, I'm going to let you all go, and sending much love, many, many blessings, and bye for now. Bye.